Okay folks, so got part 9 of the frame build, and I've got basically one side of the seat stay here done, and basically it's just been a kind of, this part I totally just freehand, mitered the edges here and then at the dropout. So got probably an hour's worth of filing and such on this side, so pretty happy with that. So gonna do the other side here, and hopefully we'll be able to get these sides these all tacked up here soon. Made these little holding blocks there, so works real well. It's a tube tapered, so it's small. I made a smaller set here and then a bigger set for down at the other end. But yeah, so basically it's just kind of a matter of just working away at it, test fitting it, and like I say, the first seat stay took about an hour, and the second one it probably took me 15 or 20 minutes, just because kind of had a pretty good idea after the first one of what to do. And actually, once it was finished and fitted well, that's when I initially started to cut the other one. So it definitely came a little quicker. And then that's one thing, just the overall process so far. I think the next frame I build will probably, I think this one took me overall about, I don't know, maybe 3-4 months or something like that, where I think the next one I should be able to do in probably, I don't know, a month and a half, maybe a month, maybe even shorter if I just, actually plugged away at it every day. Probably get it done a lot quicker if I had more time. But yeah, anyway, I'm just tacking up one side of the seat stay here, and on this particular dropout, I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if there was some contamination or something in the tube, maybe some oil or dirt, but it just wanted to. It almost seemed like my argon was cutting out right here or something. I'm still not 100% sure what the deal was, but it was mainly just isolated to this dropout and a little bit of the other one. So, just tacking it up here, but I had to redo that thing, a couple times, grind it, clean it up, and re-weld a few spots because it was pretty bad. But it ended up, at the very end, it's definitely pretty decent, I guess. But so, kind of before I started in on the seat stays here, I aligned the chain stays, and just from all the stuff I've read, it seems like the time to do it. And so that's what I did, and I felt like I had it pretty straight. And I mentioned at the end of the video that I thought this frame was off maybe a little bit, but I was looking at it earlier, about an hour or so ago, and I had a wheel that I stuck up in there just to kind of check the straightness, and had a cyclocross tire that was a tubular tire, and it was kind of leaning off to the side, and I didn't even really think about it and just thought the frame was off a little bit. Once I aired it up and put it back in there, it's definitely straighter than I don't know any way I could, with the tools and things that I have, that I could possibly get it any straighter. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll check. I've got some dropout alignment tools just to make sure that the dropouts are totally parallel to each other. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty well dead on straight. So just kind of positioning a few things here. It's always all about getting a kind of a comfortable position to weld in, and then also in a good position. I've kind of getting better at finding the sweet spot of being able to see the arc and the puddle real well, and have really good control over it. And another thing, from when I first started the frame, I've definitely been up in the heat. I'm up in the probably the 40 plus amperage range, just manual, a little pulse, working the pedal a little here and there, but it's definitely getting smoother and easier as I'm going along. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Got it tacked up here, and then I welded the rest here a little bit after this. Alright, so yeah, I went in and just got the back end basically welded up here. Yeah, it's not great. This I don't know, the dropouts for whatever reason were just they were difficult. It seemed like something within the metal, it was constantly made it feel like I wasn't getting any argon, but you know, it was fine everywhere else. It just, I don't know, seemed really dirty. But yeah, I got it done. Had to kind of grind them, clean them up a little bit to make it look somewhat presentable. And then, you know, this area here was definitely a challenge. But anyways, yeah, I got it done. You know, I guess at this point, you know, I'm just gonna put in some, you know, braces here, you know, for the fender mounts, you know, down there. And then got a couple ideas for some, you know, I'm gonna mount 2 disc brake posts, you know, in through here, so that should be interesting. But yeah, other than the few bits, you know, I've got some cable stops to do, and you know, but I don't know, it's fairly straight. I might have to tweak it just a tiny touch, get the dropouts aligned and such, but yeah, guess we made it this far, so we'll keep on going. Yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 10.